Okay, part 2, and I have now corrected the sound, so it should be better. Quote, they are discouraged from spending time on entertainment. Many members of us actually watch many movies and give suggestions to each other or go dancing or whatever. What we do stop is being preoccupied with entertainment and laziness. And that's part of being self-honest and living as what you would like to see changed on this planet. To live as a change that you want to see. We are serious about what we want to do, thus we don't waste our time watching TV all day. We spend our time on creating the change and standing together. You act as if you should place your self-interest in entertainment above changing things, above applying yourself or standing together, in that you should in all times should do whatever you like and don't care about the common good. And that's not something I support. We actually take too much time being so-called individuals, not giving a shit about the world, and that's one of the causes of the main abuse in this world. Okay, the next quote. The length of time they sleep is dictated by Pullman. That's a lie. There has been talks about sleeping only 6 hours, yes, and also the added comment to test this out for yourself. It's not an obligation or something. You have to find out yourself in self-honesty. I sometimes sleep 9 hours, and other days I sleep only 4. I sleep as long as I require to, and when I wake up and I'm awake, I jump out of my bed and that's it. I don't go calculate it or make it into a lazy habit or some kind of other thing. I often go to bed at 10 and I wake up at 4, and then people may say, whoa, that's early, but that's when I wake up and I just get out my bed. But haters just jump to conclusions very easily on the limited info they have, and they like to draw these things as if it's something bad we are doing. Like, it's different than what people in society do, because we are made very lazy and not really active into changing things. We have become very, I don't know if it's the right word, accommodated in the system, where we are taken care of and where we do not take responsibility for ourselves anymore. It's even on these small things like people who throw their waste just wide in the open, and it creates a waste everywhere. Like, look in the ocean, the garbage patch. It's all these little habits together that create a world that doesn't care anymore. And we take responsibility for this in all aspects of our life. Okay, next quote. They are told they must not be vegetarian because vegetarians want to think they are better than another. If you're a vegetarian to think that you're better than another, then I suggest to indeed stop that, because you got a problem. Because the starting point is dishonest and comes from ego, and then you simply have to do a self-honesty check. I eat vegetarian myself because I can, and my body functions well on it, and I've done for many years. The point is that all things are alive, and for animal abuse to end, we will have to stop this system, else it will never end. People will keep being brainwashed to consume certain foods, animals will still be bred for profit or be seen as inferior or whatever. That's why our focus is on changing the system, changing the core, and changing the way humans are raised. People are raised to see animals as inferior. And if this doesn't change, if the system keeps functioning on profit, then abuse will be created, and some things will be placed as inferior, and there will be exploitation of humans and also of animals. Next quote. Destiny members must shave their head and not use cosmetics or deodorants. We are not told it, it's a matter of self-honesty. There are members with hair, and there are members who shave their head. The why of the shaved heads is explained in all the various videos. It's not something we do because we are afraid to be outcasted or something. Shaving my head was a huge step for me, and one of the best ones I ever took. And also, many makeup is tested on animals. It has chemicals in them, many deodorants have chemicals in them, and many shit that damages the human body, and it's also pollutive to the water and our environment, and it's simply sold to make profit out of people's insecurity. And I have a long time ago decided not to use that shit, by using my own common sense, not because I was ordered. And everyone should use their common sense and their brains a little bit more, and not just blindly accept what the system throws at you, because it functions on our insecurity, on all levels. Next, there's a constant focus on breath and the 4-count stress reduction breath control technique, which they are told will help stop the mind. Stopping the mind is one of the most common procedures found in cults. In cults? You mean all over the world. Yoga classes, Buddhism, other new age spiritual shit, meditation, etc. And many more things that I probably can't think about right now, even like with psychiatrists who there was a girl in my class and she had to do these breathing exercises to stop her mind and release the stress because she has bowel problems. So it's everywhere. It's not something like cultish. The point of the breath is to be aware of yourself and not be lost somewhere in your imagination. We still think, How do you think we study in university? We use our brains. The point is to not think as your programmed mind, not to blindly follow the way your mind is programmed, but to become your own self-direction and self-honesty. And that's what you also would have realized if you had actually investigated what we stand for, what Destiny stands for. And this all shows that you haven't. Next quote. Pullman and his core group encourage Destiny followers to feel guilt and doubt about sex and masturbation, and to identify all their thoughts, feelings, sexual desires, experiences, and their own individual sexuality itself within the Destiny process. Influence over and control of followers' sex life is part of the course in the thought reform cult business. No. What is shared is simply the way sex and masturbation work in this world and how the system makes it into an obsession. Sex sells and people are programmed extensively with all kinds of sex-related things. No need to feel guilty. Simply be self-honest and do what you would want to see done in this entire world. Also, you make sex as if it's such a big deal, like you can't talk about it and it's crazy that we mention it and that Destiny mentions it. Why? Sex is part... I said sexy. Okay, sex is part of many humans' experiences in this world, same as fighting and eating and whatever. So it's dealt with. Like all the hundreds of topics we deal about, sex is one of the many topics that Destiny pays attention to. And there's spent attention to things that are very present, such as sex. And it's an issue that we have to talk about and deal with. And what you do with it is up to you and your self-honesty. So of course there are many videos and assistance about sex because it's so present in our world. It's everywhere. And we take responsibility of the world, as I said before, so we deal with all the aspects of it. Next quote. Individual goals or interests become superseded by working for the group. Actually, my interest is another world where all abuse ends. This is also one of the group's goals. We stand as one strong group to change things and we are serious about it. We're not gonna go like, oh, I'm now gonna take 3-year trips around the globe. And the world can wait, see ya. No, we work together and do what's needed and we don't let self-interest stand in the way. Because that has become really the disease of our world. People who just don't give a shit anymore and rather defend their right to sit hours in front of the TV every day, doing nothing, than to take responsibility, and then turning our working as a group into something negative, like it suppresses us. Come on, it doesn't. It expands us, and everyone should look at what individual goals they have, and why they have them, and if they are abusive or creating separation. Everything always comes down to self-honesty, but people are easily to call people standing together for change in the world a cult, but on the other hand applauding their own self-interested ego, and people who do not do anything but only give a damn about themselves and their life and their entertainment. Next quote. Destiny members are constantly consuming, distributing and manufacturing Destiny propaganda. Okay, we are all part of Destiny. We of course share what we have found valuable within Destiny and the material we produce ourselves. To find people who care and people who are not totally blindfolded, people who still can use their own brains. And of course we share these videos about the world and what Destiny has shared, what's going on about the mind and all its facets. It are things that everyone should wake up to. But some haters just may like it much more if people would watch reality TV or their favorite soap, I guess, as long as it's not something from destiny. Because God forbid that we share the things that have assisted us so greatly. Next quote. The world outside destiny is regarded as the matrix, where society is seen as overrun with organic robots controlled by mind consciousness systems. Our world is like a matrix. We are all part of it, no matter if you like it or not. We function like organic robots. We follow the program of our culture and system and all its influences. Come on, this is really easy to see. Why should I have to explain this? It's obvious, and it's been exposed in many hundreds of videos, and we even get this taught in school. Like with socialization and stuff, the only difference is that in school, no one does anything with it. When we learn about how the human mind functions, for example, the socialization being shaped and following your programmed mind, people tend to accept it as that's the way it just is. Because we have never been shown what it means to be self-honest. And we are programmed to follow, to obey, and not to question. And it's deeply ingrained in us, and up to each one of us to snap out of it and wake up.